Hey, Shalom Akim. It's good.
Yeah, it's good. It's good.
Shalom Akim. First and foremost, we want to give all praises to
Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, Ba'ashem HaKakodash.
Double honors to the apostles and the elder bishops at Great Millstone. Peace and salutations to the elect. Sweet brothers in the SF camp, you know, I'm Kunal Wath.
I'm brother Khanak.
And we just want to go into a lesson, you know, surrounding the Arab slave trade, okay, or, you know, you might know it as a trans-Saharan slave trade, the East African slave trade. They got different names, Zan slave trade, you know, but this is, you know, the slavery that our people experienced at the hands of Ishmael, okay? We always go into, you know, what Esau has done to us because he's the main figure, you know, when it comes to prophecy, all right, as it says in, you know, the Zondervan Compact Bible Dictionary, Edom, all right, he figures prominently in the prophetic scriptures as a scene of great future judgment. But all these nations got to pay, man. Each and every one of these nations had a part in taking us down, okay? And we just wanted to highlight, you know, Ishmael's part in it, all right? If you could bring out Isaiah 34 and 1 real quick.
Yeah, this is Isaiah 34 and 1. Come near, ye nations, to hear, and hearken, ye people.
Yep.
Let the earth hear, and all that is therein.
Yep, let the earth hear and all that is therein. So this word is going out to all you people down here on the earth. Okay, we mainly get on Esau, Edom, and we might, you know, slide the other nations in there every now and then. Okay, but you other nations, you got to pay too. All right, and it ain't like you just, you know, you innocent in this matter. Okay, like you never put your hands on the nation of Israel. Now you didn't do it to the extent that Esau, Edom did it, but nevertheless you touched us. Okay, and you Ishmaelites, you so-called Arabs, you had a big part to play in our downfall. All right, and this word is going out to you. This condemnation is going out to you. Keep going.
The world and all things that come forth of it, for the indignation of the Lord Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai is upon all nations.
The indignation of the Lord Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai is upon all nations. We looked that word indignation up. The definition is anger aroused by something perceived as unjust or unworthy. Okay, and all you other nations are unworthy of serving Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai directly as the nation of Israel serves him. Okay, now you put your hands on the nation of Israel thinking that Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai was going to give you some kind of favor. You know, look, these people are wicked. The Most High ain't dealing with them no more. Well, let me put them in slavery and then show the Heavenly Father that I'm worthy, you know, to take part in the covenant. Well, just like we read right here, the indignation of the Lord is upon you, man. You are unworthy to serve Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai. Okay, you are unworthy to take part in the covenants that Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai made between himself and Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. The Most High ain't dealing with you other nations. All right? So you doing this to the nation of Israel, okay, it's just going to be, it's to your detriment. Because you got to pay for it.
Quick precept.
God.
Zechariah 2 and 8. For thus said the Lord of hosts, after the glory has he sent me unto the nations which spoiled you.
All these nations spoiled us. Okay? We've been dispersed throughout the four corners of the earth. We in all these nations' land because we were taken there in captivity, man. All right, the places where we are, for the most part, we didn't go there on no you know, 5-star cruise, man. Okay, we didn't take business class, you know, on an international flight to these places. All right, our people are there because we were taken there in captivity. All right, keep going.
For he that toucheth you toucheth the apple of his eye,
and that ain't never gonna change. Okay, we are always gonna be the apple of the Heavenly Father's eye. All right, which that's, you know, the thing that's in the forefront of your eye, your pupil. Okay, that's the position that the nation of Israel holds in the sight of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai, regardless of what we have personally going on between ourselves. Okay, so we pissed the Heavenly Father off, and you other nations took this as an opportunity, you know, not only to get revenge on us, but to try to show the Heavenly Father, look, I'm worthy of being your people. You know, we're more righteous than these individuals are. Okay, and that's just not the case. All right, you other nations are wicked. All right, you go back to Isaiah.
Isaiah 34 and 2. For the indignation of the Lord Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai is upon all nations.
So Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai has deemed all you other nations unworthy. Okay, you all unworthy and you wicked. All right, you look at what Ishmael does. This nigga, he out of control.
Yeah.
Okay, a nigga eat camel, you know, which is forbidden in the scriptures. You know, he's in a lady voice, popping little voice. You know, that ain't the chosen people of the Heavenly Father. That's not something that Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai approves of. Okay, and then the nigga's an idolater. He worship a rock. Literally, when you go into, you know, the religion that he's into, the Islam, which, by the way, was set up by so-called Negroes, okay, when they go around that you know, box in Mecca, it's a rock inside there, man. And that's what these Ishmaelites are bound down to, was it 3 times a day, 5 times, however many times this nigga hit the ground, okay? When he's bound down, he's facing the east, he's facing Mecca, that he's actually bound down to a rock.
Mm-hmm.
You know? Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai ain't dealing with those people. Okay? Keep going.
Yep. It says he has it says, and his fury is upon their armies.
And his fury is upon their armies. All right? So Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai got a problem with you. He got a problem with the kingdom that you established. All right? And your armies are going to be destroyed out there in the Middle East. Okay? During the war of Armageddon. Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai is going to destroy the armies of all you nations. Okay?
He has utterly destroyed them.
Mm-hmm.
He has delivered them to the slaughter.
Hey, and the reason why Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai is doing that is because what you did to the nation of Israel.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? See, these things that you've done, you got to pay for. All right? And like I said earlier, you know, we always get on Esau mainly. Okay? But you other nations, you got to pay too. And we're getting ready to get into some of the history of what you Ishmaelites have done to the Israelites.
Yep.
Okay, the so-called Negroes. All right, you can get, you got precept?
No.
You get Joel 3 and 3. Yeah, because when you bring this up to Ishmael, he act like it ain't never happened.
Yeah.
You know?
He sure do. He act like, like, what are you talking? Huh? What are you talking about?
He's righteous, you know. No, we don't teach slavery in Islam. You know, Muhammad came and abolished that. No, first of all, nigga, Muhammad came way before you started this trans-Saharan slave trade. All right? Muhammad was off the scene. Okay? And you still got this thing going on today. It's on a lower level than it was back then, but it's still going on. Okay, they still enslaving Israelites to this day. They still selling them out there in these different Arab countries. Okay, and there's videos on that on YouTube. Okay, they actually exchanging. They call them house servants, but it's you a slave. These people can't leave on their own accord. You know, they just can't get up and walk out. They still get beat. You know, if they do something wrong. Okay, so it's still going on today. All right, you can bring it out.
Can I start up?
Come.
Joel 3:1, for behold, in those days and in that time, when I shall bring again the captivity of Judah and Jerusalem.
See, and this is what you other nations fail to realize. You thought that this was your opportunity to, you know, bring the nation of Israel down. And you can have free reign down here on the earth, and, you know, the Most High going to pick one of you nations. Okay, but the Most High say he going to have mercy on the nation of Israel. Okay, Judah and Jerusalem, or Judah and Israel, which is the northern kingdom and the southern kingdom. Okay? See, what was taking place between us and the Heavenly Father was a domestic dispute, you know, which, hey, if you have ever known anybody that was involved in a domestic dispute, you know that you shouldn't get involved in it.
Yeah.
Because eventually they're going to reconcile anyway. You know, the dude, he'll come to you, say, man, talk to you about his woman, you know, how she did him dirty. He going to get back with her, man. So you better off not even getting involved. And same thing with the woman. She got her ass beat by a dude. She gonna go back to him. Okay? So it's best for you not to get involved in the situation, because eventually they're gonna reconcile. And the same thing applies to this situation between Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai and the nation of Israel. Okay? And the reconciliation is taking place right before your eyes. Keep going.
I will also gather all nations and will bring them down into the valley of Jehoshaphat.
And that's what's taking place right now. Okay, as we speak, well, if it was today or yesterday, the United States bombed, targets out there in Yemen.
Yeah, yesterday.
Okay, the Iranian-backed Houthis, All right, which is just going to exacerbate the situation that's taking place right now out there in the Middle East with, them small hats and them Palestinians, the Hamas. Okay, and another, target that them small hats bombed was out there in Lebanon. Okay, they was going against Hezbollah, which this is all biblical prophecy. All right, it's prophesied that these different Arab nations are going to come together along with, Elam, the Iranians, and they're going to wage war against the small hats in America. Okay, and why is this going to take place? Okay, the Most High ain't in favor of you Ishmaelites, and He ain't in favor of you Elamites. Okay, He ain't in favor of you Edomites either, man. The Most High is causing this to happen so He can pour out His fierce wrath upon you, just like we read in Isaiah the 34th chapter. The Most High preparing you for that great slaughter. Why? Because of what you did to His people, the nation of Israel. Okay, and you Arabs, you got to pay too. All right, so you get all riled up when we get on Esau, Edom. They hate the great Satan. They're talking about the great Satan going down, but you going down too.
Yeah.
Okay, you and your towel is going down, man. All right, keep going.
And will plead with them there for my people and for my heritage, Yasha'Allah.
Read that again.
Yep, it says, and will plead with them there.
The Most High is going to plead with you there in the valley of Jehoshaphat. Okay, what's that word plead? When you look it up, it means a judge. So Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai is going to judge you in the valley of Jehoshaphat, which is, the Saudi Arabian peninsula. Okay, that's where this war is going to take place at. Okay, and see, it's no coincidence that the United States just bombed Yemen.
That's right in the area.
It's on the Saudi Arabian peninsula.
Right there.
Okay, so eventually it's going to come to a point to where they're going to send troops in there. All right.
Yep, it says, and will plead with them there for my people and my heritage, Yasha'Allah, whom they have scattered among the nations.
Whom they have scattered among the nations. Okay, and how did this take place? Via the Arab slave trade, okay, the Arab Muslim slave trade, the East African slave trade, the Trans-Saharan slave trade. It's got many names, man. Okay, and this slave trade lasted longer than, what Esau Edom was doing on the west coast of Africa. Okay, the transatlantic slave trade. This lasted long, and it's still going on. Okay, this nigga is still shipping Jake from the land of Ham up into these different Arab nations. Okay, and inside these Arab nations, they still got slave markets. Okay, our people, the remnant of them there, they still have slave status, man. Okay.
Yep, and parted my land. And they have cast lots for my people.
Yep.
Well, you got them Arabs in the land of Israel now, fighting over it. And they have cast lots for my people, and have given a boy for a harlot.
So you turn a little boy into a harlot, man. Showing you how freaky them Ishmaelites are. Okay, they be using boys as sex slaves, man.
Yep.
All right, but this is supposed to be the righteous people. Now you wicked, just like the rest of these nations are wicked. Okay, keep going.
And sold a girl for wine, that they might drink.
Yep.
Yea, and what have ye to do with me, O Tyre and Zidon, and all the coast of Palestine?
That's right. Tyre and Zidon goes into the Hamites. All right, which you had a big part to play in this trans-Saharan slave trade as well. Okay, so pretty much all these nations came together. Okay, on one accord to come against the nation of Israel. We got to get Psalms, the 83rd chapter. Before you get that, you got to go to Genesis 37.
Okay.
Was it the 15th chapter? Because these Ishmaelites like to say that they don't condone slavery. You've been involved in the slave trade.
It's nothing but history on how they deal with slavery. They're slavers. They raided Africa for over a century. Over 1,000 years of uninterrupted slavery. Going into Africa, taking Jake, chopping their rods off. Using women as concubines, as well as the boys too. You know how they get down. Basically building up their society.
start at let's see. You can start at the 23rd verse.
37, 20, 23?
God.
Okay. This is Genesis 37 and 23. And it came to pass when Joseph was come unto his brethren that they stripped Joseph out of his coat, his coat of many colors that was on him, and they took him and cast him into a pit, and the pit was empty, there was no water in it. And they sat down to eat bread, and they lifted up their eyes and looked, and behold, a company of Ishmaelites came from Gilead.
Yeah, company of Ishmaelites. So there you go, Ishmael. You know, they see a group of Ishmaelites. Okay, keep going.
With their camels bearing spicery and balm and myrrh.
Because the Arabs been into trading.
Yep.
All right. The same routes that they was taking was the same routes that they had already established, Arab merchants. Okay, and you can look at a lot of history on, you know, the different nations that the Arabs went to trading. Okay, they went as far as, you know, which is documented. They went all the way out there to China, man. All right.
Mm-hmm. Yep. It says, with their camels bearing spicery and balm and myrrh, going to carry it down to Egypt.
Yes, they can go make some money. All right.
And Judah said unto his brethren, what profit is it if we slay our brother and conceal his blood? Come and let us sell him to the Ishmaelites, and let not our hand be upon him, for he is our brother and our flesh, and his brethren were content.
And the reason why he had that thought, it was all set up through the Spirit. Okay, you know, Joseph was already slated to go down into the land of Egypt. We already know what happened, you know, with that. But another reason why that thought came into his mind, because it was well known that the Ishmaelites deal in slaves. You know, okay, we could just sell him to Ishmael. Ishmael gonna buy him, definitely. You know, he ain't gonna say, "Oh, hey, look, man, no, we don't, we don't deal with slaves. We deal with herbs and spices only." Okay, I maybe camel, I sell camel, but men, no, I don't do that. Ishmael bought him, man. Okay, because Ishmael been into the slave trade. All right.
Yep. It says, and Reuben returned unto the pit, and behold, Joseph was not in the pit, and he rent his clothes, and he returned unto his brethren, and said, the child is not, and I, whither shall I go? And they took Joseph's coat, and killed a kid of the goats, and dipped the coat in blood. You want me to keep reading? Okay. And they sent the coat of many colors, and they brought it to their father, and said, this have we found. Know now whether it be thy son's coat or no. And he knew it, and said, it is my son's coat, and evil beasts have devoured him. Joseph is without doubt rent in pieces. And Jacob rent his clothes, and put on sackcloth upon his loins, and mourned for his son many days. And all his sons and all his daughters rose up to comfort him, but he refused to be comforted. And he said, for I will go down into the grave unto my son mourning. Thus his fathers wept for him. And the Midianites sold him into Egypt, and Potiphar, an officer of Pharaoh's and a captain of the guard.
Yeah, that's the point.
That was, okay.
Just to make the point, them Arabs, because when you look up that word Arab, all Arab means is a mixture. Okay, so amongst them Arabs, you got Midian. You know, he's over there. You got them other, you know, sons of
Keturah.
Yeah, the sons of Keturah, the sons of Abraham. All right, Ishmael, Midian. Okay, and the other sons. So they all mixed up. So you had Midian selling Jake as well. Okay, participate in the so-called Arab, you know, slave trade. All right, or trans-Saharan slave trade. All right, so we just, you know, brought that out to make the point and to show, according to the scriptures, that you Ishmaelites, you Arabs, you've been dealing in slaves, man. So you can't say, oh, no, see, we don't do that. Nah, hey, the Bible records your history, man. All right? So you want to...
Go back to Joel.
I told you to get some...
Psalms 83.
Yeah.
Yep. Psalms 83 and 1. It says, "Keep not thou silent, O power. Hold not thy peace, and be not still, O God. For lo, thy enemies make a tumult, and they that hate thee have lifted up the head. They have taken crafty counsel against thy people."
They have taken crafty counsel against thy people. Who are the people? The Lord's people. You so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. They taking crafty counsel against you. You don't even know that there's a conspiracy against you to keep you down. All right, hell, for us to even, get this information, you gotta do research. Okay, they ain't even gonna teach you this in school.
Oh, you'll never know. You never know that this actually even happened. Your knowledge of what happened to you as a people is pretty much hidden away from you. It's not well spoken of. It's taboo, if you will. And in all the nations, they keep quiet. They all had a hand in it. They keep quiet. They keep hush hush. They don't want to rouse them spirits up. To make it seem like they're they didn't have nothing to do with anything. They're brothers now. We're brother. Yeah. Aki, we're brothers now.
It's just a so-called white man. He put you niggas in slavery. We didn't do nothing to y'all. We actually we here to help you. We love y'all. But then you got this history. Then you got a whole group of bugged out niggas out there in Chicago. Okay, the whole hood then converted to Islam.
Yep, that's crazy. If they
that's
only knew.
That's how bugged out Jake is.
Well, Malcolm X, he was so enlightened, right? How you had all that deep knowledge. You didn't know that the same God that you turn to, he put you in slavery. The same people, and then they don't even. He found out when he went over there to Mecca that they don't even recognize him as a Muslim. Because within their religion they can't so-called slave any Muslim. Yeah. But they still, when you go into the documentation, they slaved Jake even though they were converted to Islam. So they didn't give a shit. They're like, either it's an Israelite. We locking them up. Yep. That's all. Even because you had Jakes that converted to Islam. All right. Those are the people. All right, we gonna lock them up. Well, I thought they were Muslim. Well, they're niggas, essentially. But Jake don't even know that history. And then if you bring it up to him, they gonna fight you. Yeah. They're gonna be real upset that you brought that up. Yeah,
he's still gonna tell you Islam is the truth. That's the true way. No, nigga, you just a bug out.
They have taken crafty counsel against our people and consulted against our hidden ones. They have said, "Come and let us cut them off from being a nation."
That's right.
That the name of Yasha'Allah may be no more in remembrance.
And that's exactly what they did. Okay? Because none of you Israelites out there, you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, you don't know that you Israelites. All right? Even these individuals that got taken to these different parts of the Arab world, they don't know they Israelites. Okay? Even though the places where they came from, it was well known who they were. Okay, they knew their history, but they don't know, man. All right, all they know is that they slaves. Okay, and why is that? Is because the nigga Ishmael and the rest of them Arab nations. All right,
and these nations been exerting their dominance over us, for many years. And if it was up to them, they'll still have us in captivity, which really we still in captivity, really. But chattel slavery, they want to, Esau want to really. This thing is a demon. He want to put everybody in chattel slavery.
Yep.
Through this RFID. But these heathen nations, we kind of hone in on Ishmael because he had a big part in our downfall. God. He's one of our main enemies. Okay.
Yeah, well, we're going to read it. He's number 2.
Yeah, it says, "For they have consulted together with one consent. They are confederate against thee."
Yep. So basically they got an agreement, to come up against the nation of Israel. Okay, they got an alliance. All right. And we actually, seen this firsthand. Yeah. Okay, it was Edomite. All right, Amalekite to be, more precise through the spirit, and an Ishmaelite that came up to the camp. These two dudes, they don't know each other from Adam. They was, seemingly on opposing teams, but then the spirit had it where they linked up.
Yeah, they linked up tough too. They roused Esau's gonna rouse Amalek's spirit up. because Amalek came in try to fake humble spirit,
a slithery snake, man. Like he was with the cause.
A rat. He came in that rat-like Ratatouille spirit, and then Ishmael roused him up, and then he linked up with Ishmael tough. You know. Showing their true colors.
That's right.
You know.
Yeah, showing you all these nations against you, so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, man.
Verse 6, the tabernacles of Edom.
Yep, Esau, Edom, so-called white man.
And the Ishmaelites.
That's number 2. Okay, and these are the 2 main individuals that put you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans in slavery.
Yep.
All right. Ishmael, he had a heavy hand, or the heaviest hand, in putting you so-called Negroes in slavery. All right, along with Edom, okay, the so-called white man, Esau, Edom, the so-called Europeans. But the European, okay, Esau, he came over to the New World and was shipping the kingdom of Israel back over on this side, man. Yeah. And he was linking up with Ishmael. Okay, well, I got these Israelites from this side of the world. You can have them. You can have these ones. You know. Yeah. So literally, we've been dispersed throughout the 4 corners of the earth, mainly because those 2 nations. All right.
Of Moab.
Mm-hmm. Moab, he had a part in our captivity as well. Okay, this nigga Ishmael, I mentioned that he went as far as China, which is the documented history. He probably went further than that, but he went out to China. And he was selling us out there too. Okay, you had Israelite slaves that was sold in China. Okay.
It says, and the Hagarenes,
Hamites,
Gabal,
which Ham he was selling us too, and that's what that movie, The Woman King, is about. She's from a Hamitic, nation, and she was doing slave raids. She was leading her female army against Israelite tribes, putting them down and putting them in slavery. That's what that was about, man. All right. So Ham had a part in it. You Ishmaelites had a part, and you Edomites. Mm-hmm. Okay, and then Moab as well. All right, keep going.
Gabal and Ammon.
Ammon, the so-called Japanese. All right, which is it's hard to find info, on what Ammon had going on when it comes to us, But we gonna go with what the scriptures say, man. He put us in slavery too. All right, and if it wasn't on this go around, the more recent slavery that we went through, he put us in slavery in the past anyway. So his ass still gotta pay, man.
Yep. And Jake went into Japan.
Mm-hmm.
It's a lot of influence of Jake going into Japan. The history's out there. The Lord's will, we gonna find the history. And I'm pretty sure there's certain brothers that probably got some history too.
God.
But Lord's will, we gonna find the history and we gonna go in. And Amalek.
Yeah, which Amalek, he's the chief one.
Yeah.
He was the mastermind behind this whole thing, this whole slave trade. Okay, his slithery ass was in the back, directing everything. All right.
Yep.
But then he one of the main ones that want to be close to Jake, man. Well, it was a news clip that I seen. You had the so-called Jewish community. They want to get closer to Jake. They want to, I forget the word. Basically, they want to strengthen ties. They got similar struggles.
Right.
But this nigga had the main part in putting you so-called Negroes in captivity, man.
Right. Yeah. He was the mastermind behind it. He funded it too.
Mm-hmm.
He's heavy into trafficking. He can move shit. He's a great merchant.
Yeah.
He
an underground mover too. He got to move shit underground, through them tunnels.
Yeah. Yep. Where am I? It says it says and Amalek and the Philistines.
More Hamites and Philistines. All right. The main, nations that you had Ham, you had Ishmael, and you had Edom. Okay, that was selling Israelites. All right.
Yep. And the inhabitants of Tyre, Ashur also is joined with them.
Mm-hmm.
They have holpen the children of Lot, Selah. Do unto them as unto the Midianites, as to Sisera, as to Jabin, and the brook of Kishon.
Kind of basically cut the head off this, this conspiracy. Okay, the heads of this group, cut it off. All right, that way it'll never be a threat to the nation of Israel again. That's exactly what Yahweh Shem Yahushua is doing. That's why he's setting up this, the war Armageddon, man. Okay, to completely destroy you other nations, so you ain't gonna pose no threat to the nation of Israel, because you ain't gonna have no military might. All right, that way the nation of Israel is gonna have, hey, it's gonna be smooth sailing into the kingdom. You're gonna put up little resistance when the nation of Israel comes down with those new bodies and subjugate you other nations. All right. That's it on that.
Yeah, that was it.
You can jump back to Joel, and then we can,
God.
read a little bit of this right here.
This is Joel 3, and I'm gonna start at 3 again. And they have cast lots for my people, and have given a boy for a harlot, and sold a girl for wine.
Yeah, they were selling boys as sex slaves, man. Okay. Now, when you go into the history of it, Ishmael, what these historians will say, they'll focus on the women, or he was still selling the girls for as sex slaves. They would, use the men and the boys as, keepers of their harems, but they'll use the girls as sex slaves. But they was using boys too. That nigga Ishmael's sick, man. Okay, you can look up, this lady boy thing they be having out there in Afghanistan. These other nations in the, popping little boys, man.
Yeah, Bacha boys.
So they was using boys as sex slaves too. Same thing Esau was doing over here. All right.
Yep. It says that they might drink. Oh, and sold a girl for wine that they might drink. Yea, and what have you to do with me, O Tyre and Zidon?
Yep.
And all the coast of Palestine.
Yeah, which says go on into you Arabs, okay, you so-called Palestinians. You think that you are the true servants of the Heavenly Father. You think the Most High dealing with you. Most High ain't dealing with you. That's why he using them small hats to bomb your ass to hell and back, man.
Yeah.
Okay? You got videos of little Palestinian girl getting her legs blown off, man. All right? Hey, that's the judgment of Yahweh Shem Yahushua.
And you would think how many times they praying that their God would have came and stopped some shit.
If we prayed to the Heavenly Father that much, we would be out of
here.
here.
Yeah, we'd be out of here.
If the whole nation, because Ishmael, that nigga, he diligent. He diligent, man. Pretty much they whole nation be bound down, and praying to that stone. So as much energy and as much praise as they give, that Kaaba stone, you think he be making moves for him, man. Yeah. At least the devout ones. You mean to tell me there ain't no devout Palestinians out there that's gonna get divine protection from their God?
That's crazy.
Or some of them get destroyed when they praying.
Yeah, in they mosque. They be mass, bombs just dropping. 100 people die. They be all congregating. It'd be a bloodbath. Just taking down mosques, just destroying mosques.
They in there praying and the bomb come.
We have stories. We have stories in the scriptures where the Most High, he fought for us when these nations came in and we didn't have no hope. Them Palestinians, they ain't got no hope, right? You would think that Allah, Muhammad, somebody,
at least, man,
somebody, Pegasus, at least Pegasus come down and shit. Somebody,
the missiles with his wings.
But it hasn't been one. You haven't heard of not one. They not even. Are they looking for a savior? What are they looking for? What I mean?
Well, they looking to link up with they Muslim cohorts, man. They ain't even thinking about the last thing coming up in their mind is Allah protecting them, man.
It says, I'll read that again. Yea, and what have you to do with me, O Tyre and Zidon, and all the coasts of Palestine?
Yep.
Will you render me a recompense? And if you recompense me, swiftly and speedily will I return your recompense upon your own head.
And this is the recompense. They're putting the nation of Israel in captivity. Okay, we're going to get our lick back. The Most High didn't choose us, so look, we're going to put your chosen people in captivity. Well, Yahweh Shem Yahushua said, swiftly and speedily shall he return your recompense upon your own head. And that's why you see the things that are taking place out there in the Middle East take place.
Yeah.
Okay, that's why them Palestinians getting bombed the hell and back. And they been getting bombed, man. Okay, this ain't nothing new. Them small hats been giving them the business. Okay, but see now we coming to the time where Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai is going to pour out his fierce wrath upon all you nations out there in the Middle East. Okay, that's the the real swift recompense that is talking about Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai pouring out his fierce wrath upon you. Okay.
Mm-hmm. As we are reading in Joel, the Lord's gathering all those nations, so he can pour out his wrath. It's going to be tens of millions of you, hundreds of millions, really, dying in that region. You know, we already seeing children. They just getting blown. I mean, it's like those is gruesome images. You know, but it's going. The Most High gonna even get more gruesome. He gonna get more bloody.
That's right.
You know, and this is all. We ain't shed not one motherfucking tear for you. If anything, we laughing because this is the recompense of what you've done to us.
Yeah, it's payback.
This is nothing but payback. The Most High is pleading with you heathen nations for our sake. This is why all these things are happening.
Well, these Ishmaelites, they'll try to negate this history that we getting ready to get into, the Arab slave trade, and then they want Jake to be for their turn.
Yeah.
March what they have. You should have something to say against the land of Israel or what America is doing to us. Hey, look, y'all two go at it, man. Y'all can fight to the death.
And it's they can't handle us because we go into the scriptures. We go into the scriptures and we go into history and we let them know what's getting ready to happen to them. Jake don't know anything about anything, so they get baited in, and their emotion, they're highly emotional, so they'll be fighting for somebody else's cause when these nations don't give two shits about you. They ain't never fighting for your cause.
Yeah, they're your enemies, man.
They're literally the reason why you're in the position that you're in now.
That's right.
And they keep these things secret. They know that we're the Israelites. They come over here from Yemen or from Algeria, wherever the fuck they come from, and they know about the Israelites. They know the Jews are black. They know that. They have all the records.
Well, they know that the people that they enslaved was Israelites. They know that the people that's currently in slavery in their own country are Israelites. Okay, this ain't like this thing just disappeared. The Arab slave trade ain't going on no more now. It's still currently going on to this day. Okay, and the descendants of the people that were taken captive into these different Arab countries, they still there.
Yep.
So they know exactly who these people are, man.
Yep.
I want to try to find it. Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai willing I can find a video. It was a little documentary on the Arab slave trade, and they got some kind of account from one of the slavers. They was asking him, like, why are you doing this? Why are you able to do this? He said these people have been forsaken by God. So who is that? That's the Israelites. Okay, the only people that literally be forsaken by the Heavenly Father, but for only a certain period of time. It wasn't forever. Okay, and that's where you other nations got it messed up at. You thought that the Most High was done with us. But now this is just a domestic dispute that's taking place, man.
And they gonna be fucked up when they realize that the Most High was always on our side. And this is why the nations are getting scared now, is because you have Israelite men, not the woman, the man, standing in great boldness now.
That's right.
Saying, nah, what about all this? They shiver. They're spiritual enough. They're spiritual enough to know a recompense is coming. That's just how things happen, And all their history is right there on the net for everybody to know. And even if we didn't have this history, we have the scriptures.
That's right.
This just reiterates what the scriptures are already saying. The scriptures already tell us who you nations are and what you've done. This is just more proof, more physical proof, if you will. Carnal proof that these things actually happen. But we don't need that. The scriptures already condemned you. Let me continue. It says, and if ye recompense me swiftly and speedily will I return your recompense upon your own head?
That's right.
Because ye have taken my silver and my gold, and have carried into your temples my goodly pleasant things. And the children also of Judah and the children of Jerusalem have ye sold unto the Grecians.
The children also of Judah and of Jerusalem have ye sold to the Grecians. Who are the Grecians? Esau, Edom, the so-called white man. Okay? Because Ishmael, he had his trade going for years, and then you had them different European nations come down into the land of Ham and start buying Jacob.
Yep.
Okay? Ishmael, they look, these people right here, they slaves. You can do whatever you want to them. You know? And then Edom got on board with it. All right?
Yeah, he brought it. He took it to the small hat took it to the next level. Oh, we can really trap. We can really take these people and we can like ship these people worldwide. We can build up America. You know, everybody can get in on this. We can secure these shipping lanes. We can make sure we can set up ports. We can really, when you get the small hat to get in. He gonna scale the bit. All he did was scale it up. That's all he did. He just scaled it and made it and made it more refined. Okay, all right. We're gonna have these people building ships. We're gonna have these people building shackles. We're gonna do this. We're gonna do that. We're gonna set up with these raiders. They're gonna raid. We're gonna make sure. Okay, boom, 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 boom. All right, we gonna now. Then we're gonna insure everything. We're gonna insure it. So if we lose products, you see what I'm saying? We can get money back. So he just made it. He just scaled it up and made it a multi-billion-dollar, trillion-dollar industry. It was already big, but he just made it. He made it that much better. That's well. If I get a scripture, Ezekiel, it talks about how thou art wiser than Daniel, and then goes into him being a merchant man, and that's how he got those riches by his wisdom. Let me bring it out. Ezekiel 28. Ezekiel 28 and 3. Behold, thou art wiser than Daniel. There is no secret that they can hide from thee.
Let's talk about Esau, Edom. Okay, he's pretty much searched, if not everything, a lot of stuff. All right.
With thy wisdom and with thy understanding, thou hast gotten thee riches, and hast gotten gold and silver into thy treasures. By thy great wisdom and by thy traffic. Which
traffic is business. Which the biggest business for Esau, Edom, was the slavery of you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. All right, but see, one thing that the Ishmaelites didn't have access to was the northern kingdom, okay? Or the resources of the northern kingdom, okay? So that was, exclusively set aside for Esau, Edom to partake in.
Yeah.
All right? Ishmael just had access to Judah, okay? But over here in the so-called New World was a vast amount of resources, gold, silver. And then you had the Northern Kingdom over here, all right? Which they got put into slavery too, all right? But the land over here is very fertile. You get those crops going, man, not just selling people. Okay, you had the sugar cane going, the tobacco, the rum, all right, which the small hat was taken back over to the land of Ham and given to you Arabs, man.
Yeah.
Okay, and getting more Israelites for that.
Yeah, because you have all these resources, but you're not going to do the labor. You need a labor force. It was very important. Any economy needs a labor force, right? Because you can have somebody that creates a business, but he can't fulfill all the jobs. So what did they do? They got the slaves. And Esau, the point is, he took it to the next level, but he was just following after what you Arabs was doing. That's all. And then he just upgraded, and y'all all was just eating. Y'all was winning.
Yep.
And Moab was winning. Ammon. Psalms 83 doesn't have Elam in there, but Elam was part of it as well.
Yeah. Well, you had slaves get taken to Iran, Afghanistan. Okay, which we know those are Elamite nations. Even India.
India, yep.
Okay.
Yep.
You had slaves that was taken to India.
And Lord's will, Lord's will try to keep this as like a series and kind of go into each one of those countries, showing you that our people are were scattered in those lands, and a lot of it was through slavery.
Yep.
While they were in those lands, you got the Afro-Iranians, Afro-Afghanistanians. Now they call them Afro. And even that Yemenese dude, or what was it? He was Algerian, something. He was that Arab, whatever that Arab was.
He was from Yemen.
Yemen, right? He was Yemen. He knew. Oh yeah, the Afro-Yemeni. We got black people. We got Afro-Yemenis.
Yeah. How did they get there?
And how did they get? And then he's dumbstruck. Yeah, he got there. How did he get there? Yeah, he got there because of slavery. Those are the actual remnants of the slave trade. Right? That's an actual mar unto. That's the evidence right there.
Exodus.
I'm already going there.
You know, hey, you other nations, you thoroughly condemn, man. Okay, and we just bringing the evidence out against your ass. Really, we testifying against you.
Yeah.
Okay, because these things happen to our people. All right, and we down here being witnesses to Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai in court against you other nations, man. All right, we testifying that this actually happened. And then the evidence is there, like the brother said. You still got Israelites in your hand, man. So how you gonna say I ain't had no part in this though? They fell out the sky, you know.
What is that? Exodus
21:16.
21. Okay, 21. Yeah. Exodus 21 and 16. And he that stealeth a man and selleth him.
Yep, which is you putting him in slavery. Okay, you taking this individual from where he lives at. And you selling him. You making him a commodity. Okay. He didn't sell himself to you. He didn't become indentured to you. You stole him. All right, and that's what you did to the tribe of Judah. Okay, the kingdom of Judah that was in Africa.
Yeah, they raided Africa like crazy. Them Arabs. They raided Africa uninterrupted for over 1,000 years. Coming in, taking Jake. And then selling them into captivity, taking a woman, making them, popping a woman, putting them in harems, cutting Jake's rod off to have them as the eunuchs.
Yep.
And the eunuchs, their price will be 7 times more higher when you go into it, 7 times more higher than just a regular slave, because they were used to guard them harems. It says, or if he be found in his hand.
Or if he be found in his hand, which our people are still in these lands, man. Okay? Because each place where you Israelites have been scattered, Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai is going to deliver you from those places. Okay? And the reason why we're in those places is because we went there in slavery. So we still in these lands. All right? So you other nations, you guilty. Okay? Wherever Jake is at in mass, all right? The reason why we're there in mass because we went there in captivity.
Yep.
Okay? This wasn't no expat thing, man. Okay? Jake is there in mass because millions of them was brought there in captivity. All right?
It's like it.
So good. It ain't like Jake going over to, to Thailand, or you got the passport bros. It wasn't nothing like that, man. Okay, because even though you might have a concentration of, Jake over there, it ain't to the extent of, the communities where the slaves was bought.
Yeah.
All right, you might have a few dozen, in these other countries, the passport bros, but it's just millions of Israelites in these other lands, man.
Yeah, millions.
Descendants of slaves.
Tens of millions,
all right,
in those lands, and they don't get no coverage too. On the global stage, you don't even know about them unless you kind of stumble across it, and there's not too many videos on it, because those nations, especially those Arab nations, Elamite nations, they keep that. That's a hidden history. That's a shame. That's a shameful history. That why are these dark skinned people? Why are these people in your land like that? They have a whole community. They're actually Iranians. They're classified Iranians on the books, and what's going on? Well, the history. We got to go back into the history. You had them in slavery, but then you have the British that came and abolished it. So now they're there, but then what? You treat them like a 3rd and 4th class citizen. You treat them as it's like a slave. It's like a slave class system. It says. And he that stealeth a man and selleth him, or if he be found in his hand, he shall surely be put to death.
That's right. So what is the judgment for you other nations? You got to get put to death. All right? But see, Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai going to do you one better. He going to allow us to put you into slavery. All right?
Where was I?
Ezekiel 28th chapter.
Okay. Right. Ezekiel 28. And where was I started, Salakia?
Through that traffic.
Okay, yeah. Kind. This is Ezekiel 28 and 5. By thy great wisdom and by thy traffic thou hast increased thy riches, and thy heart is lifted up because of thy riches.
That's right. And Esau, Edom's heart is lifted up because he got so much wealth. All right? He is on his high horse right now, man. Okay? He's more proud than any of these other nations down here because he's got more wealth than they do. All right? And like I mentioned earlier, he was the only one that was, had access to the northern kingdom. Okay? Ishmael didn't have access to the northern kingdom or their lands. Okay? Ham didn't have access to the northern kingdom or their lands. All right? So Esau, Edom was able to capitalize completely on the nation of Israel. All right? And see, through the wealth that he gained, through the riches that he gained, now he's hella proud. Okay? No other nation, is on my level. All right?
That was pretty much it on that. That was just the point. Esau, he just basically took what these other nations were doing and he just made it that much greater, And like you said, he had access to the northern kingdom, but damn sure, well, if Ishmael had access to the northern kingdom, he would have put him in slavery. And the way that they treat Jake too is crazy. How they treat Jake, in slavery, like straight up, like not even human.
Yep.
So what do you think you heathen nations what do you think you gonna suffer? You gonna be treated less than heathen. You gonna be what the scriptures say. You are nothing.
Yeah, you a beast. You a literal beast. You gonna get treated as such. All right. You literally gonna treat your animals, your cattle better than these heathen nations, man. Because your cattle gonna be in order. You send your sheep out to the pasture. What they gonna do? They gonna eat. They ain't gonna go off. They ain't gonna commit iniquity, man. They ain't gonna be worshiping no other god. But these other nations, they gonna be bound. That nigga Ishmael gonna be bound down in the Kaaba in the kingdom, man. You got to bring that rod of iron out, bash that nigga up, man. All right. Was we done with Joel?
Yeah. You know what? Let me see. I think we have maybe a little. Yeah, let me, verse 6. It says, the children also of Judah and the children of Jerusalem have ye sold unto the Grecians, that ye might remove them far from their border.
Yeah, that ye might remove them far from their border, which was, the transatlantic slave trade. He sold us to the so-called white man, and he brought us all the way over here to the New World, which is the utmost part of the earth. Okay, far away from the land of Israel. Okay? This side of the world is not connected, okay, by land to, the so-called old world. All right? Not like when we were in the land of Ham. You can still walk to the land of Israel. Well, some of our people got taken back into captivity in the land of Israel, man. Okay, you had slaves that was taken to, the land of Palestine. All right? As slaves. Okay? So you got Israelites in captivity in Palestine right now, man. Okay? Or the remnants of, the ones that were brought there in captivity is still over there in the land of Palestine. All right? Getting discriminated against. Catching nothing but hell, man.
Yep.
All right? But then you supposed to stand with Palestine. Man, get the fuck out of here.
There's a video too. I gotta find it, where it was like an Afro-Palestinian, basically Jake, looked just like Jake, and basically just saying how they're oppressed. They're oppressed by not only by the Israelis, but they're oppressed by the Palestinians as well. And they got a name for them, like basically nigga, in their language. So who is that? You know what I mean? Who is that? That's Jake.
Yep.
Those are the Israelites.
That's the curses.
The curses.
You shall be the tail, they shall be the head. You're gonna be a proverb and a byword. All right? You shall be oppressed always. Okay? That's Jake, man. All right? And see, these other nations are responsible for keeping us in this state.
Oh, well, can I bring this out?
Okay.
This is Revelation 11 and 9, and it says, And they of the people, let me start at 8. And their dead bodies shall lie in the street of the great city, which spiritually is called Sodom and Egypt.
Which that's talking about America, okay? Which that's the main reason why we focus on Esau, Edom the most, is because this is, going to be the scene of great future judgment, Babylon the Great. All right? This is the main enemy to you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. All right? Keep going.
Where also our Lord was crucified. And they are the people and kindreds and tongues and nations shall see their dead bodies 3 days and a half.
Yeah, so they seen us over here in hardcore bondage, man. Okay, for that 350-year period. All right, from around 1620 up until 1970. Okay, keep going.
And shall not suffer their dead bodies to be put in graves.
And the other nations still on that tip to this day. Okay, suffering our dead bodies to be put in graves is them telling us who we are, why we're in the predicament that we're in. Okay, see, the reason why you in slavery is because you guys are Israelites. You made a covenant with the Heavenly Father. You broke it, so the Most High is punishing you. All right, and these other nations ain't gonna tell you that. Okay, they want you to believe that you just a so-called Negro or Latino or Native American, or we just in this state because we low-level people. We got low IQs. But then when you bring this up to them, they'll tell you.
Yeah. When you bring it up to them, you got to dig into their ass, and they'll say. But this is the thing: they saw our dead bodies in the great city, right? But they had us in slavery during the same time over there in Africa and in the Middle East, and in their country. So why would they say something? They're a part of it. Yep. It's just Esau. As we read in Ezekiel the 28th chapter, he just took it to the next level.
Yep.
But they had Jake in slavery during this time. The sub-Saharan or trans-Saharan slave trade that lasted all the way into the fucking 1900s. Going into 1950, 1960, 1980. You had certain places that just so-called about, and they was bucking up. I got to go into the history. I was reading it the other day, somewhere in one of the Arab countries. They was fighting like tooth and nail because that was part of their culture. They had them black slaves. Here it is, these slaves that literally take care of everything. You're good, and then somebody telling you, nah, you can't have no more. That's gonna mess up that's gonna mess up everything.
Well, that was part of the reason for the Civil War out here. The North was telling the South, "Hey, look, man, you gotta get them slaves up.
Yeah.
All right, you can't own them no more. They're gonna become public property." They said, "Hell with that, man. We gonna succeed."
Yeah. It says, verse 10, and it says, let me read 9 again. And they of the people and kindreds and tongues and nations shall see their dead bodies 3 days and a half, and shall not suffer their dead bodies to be put in graves.
Yeah, they're not gonna tell you who you are. Okay, so you can make things right with Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shah. All right, your mind could pretty much be at ease. Okay, the reason why I'm in this predicament, I'm an Israelite, I went off. Keep going.
And they that dwell upon the earth shall rejoice over them.
And they was rejoicing over us, okay? Because they were just like we read in Psalms 83. These other nations were confederate in this. Okay, so it wasn't just like Esau, Edom. He did his thing, and the other nations just sitting back looking. Oh man, that's messed up. Hey, I'm glad it ain't me. But that's messed up, man. I wouldn't do nothing like that to those people. They need to be liberated. Nah, these other nations were rejoicing, man. Okay? And like the brother mentioned, they was doing the same thing to us in their lands. All right? Keep going.
Yep. And they that dwell upon earth shall rejoice over them.
So they were celebrating the fact that we got conquered, man. That we was completely taken down by Esau, Edom. And them. All right, keep going.
Because if I say this too, because you had those Arab raiders that will come into Africa, but you had strongholds of Jake, especially on the west coast of Africa. Well, in all parts of Africa, really too, because you had the Bantu migration, and they migrated all throughout Africa. You had a lot of Jakes out there in South Africa too. On the east coast of Africa, you had strongholds, so they weren't able to get all Jake, but they got a lot. But when Esau came on the game, they were like, all right, we're going to link up and we're going to get all these niggas. Mm-hmm. And that's pretty much what they did, you know? It says, they shall rejoice over them and make merry and shall send gifts one to another.
Yeah, we were those gifts getting shipped throughout the four corners of the earth to these other nations. As far, which is documented, okay, as far as China. Jacob's getting sold in slavery in China, man. All right. Which we know is further than that, but this is just, you know, the documentable accounts, okay, are the documented accounts. All the way in China, Jacob's a fucking slave, man. All right. And the remnant of our people are still in those countries to this day. All right. Keep going.
Because these two prophets tormented them that dwelt on the earth.
These two prophets tormented them that dwelt on the earth. Okay, but you can read about that. I believe it's in First Chronicles, the 18th chapter, which goes into how David was establishing his kingdom. Okay, he put all them nations down, man. The Philistines, Ishmael, you know he got it. Okay. Edom, all right. The Philistines, you know. All them nations got put down and put in captivity. Ammon, Moab. Okay, they became our slaves. So this is them paying us back.
Edom.
Mm-hmm. And Amalek. All right.
We had garrisons in their lands. You know, we completely had the nations in subjugation. And Solomon, during his time, it was peace.
Yep.
So it was quiet. It was nobody was coming up against us. You know, they was sending it. They was sending them those resources. You know, he was taking concubines.
Oh yeah, well he had 700 of them. You know, and you can't make an Israelite woman a concubine, so he had 700 women from the heathen nations as his concubines, man. All right.
Well, yeah,
and that's just Solomon.
That I was just about to say. That's what I'm saying. That's just Solomon.
What about the rest of Jacob?
You know.
Hey, but see, that's you brought up the castration. That's the reason why Ishmael was doing that, man.
Yeah.
Okay, because Jake get busy, all right, especially with them Arab women, man.
Well, that's that. Well, we read in Joel. That's that recompense me. Will you recompense me? Because they know about the history, so they said, man, okay, their God forsake them. So now we can. They understand Judah the 5th chapter. Mm-hmm. They know if there's iniquity found in us, then the Most High, he ain't gonna deliver us.
That's right.
He's not gonna fight for us. And they were able to take us down. So they took us down. They was like, oh shit, okay, man, fuck these people. The Most High, he's done with them. We can treat these people however we, you know. It was payback. Mm-hmm. It's personal with these nations. That's what Jake doing. It's personal with them. They hate Jake, you know.
You know, because of the history between us and them. You know, which history you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans are completely unaware of. All right, you don't even know that you ruled over these nations, man. You don't even know that they're your enemies. All right, but you gonna be for their turn. You got niggas marching for Palestine. Yeah. You got in your damn mind.
And
man.
they be in the front of the march
with a big ass Palestinian flag.
A big ass Palestinian flag.
Them Palestinians ain't even got as big as a flag as you niggas got, man. You waving the hell out of it, you know. Hey, them big flags, you got to swing them motherfuckers hard as hell, man. You niggas be swinging them, you know. You make sure everybody see that flag, and you look down, it's a nigga waving it, man. You know. But these people are your enemies, all right. They put you in captivity, man, as payback for what you did to them, you know.
And after 3 days and a half, the spirit of life from the Most High entered into them.
Mm-hmm. And which the spirit of life is talking about the wisdom, knowledge, and understanding of Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai. Okay, the understanding of these scriptures, the knowledge of who we are, what our nationality is. Okay, what tribe we come from. Which one of the things that that Ishmaelite wanted to know. How did you guys find this out? He wanted to know how we came up with the sign. Mm-hmm. You know, and Amalek too. He was bugging out over that. You know, how'd you guys come up with this? Where'd you get this guy? Where'd you get this from? Hey, how about Shem Yahweh Shai? Gave it to us, man. He gave it back to us. He took it from us for a period of time, and he gave it back to us. Okay, that's how we know what tribe we from, man.
And they bugging the hell out.
Mm-hmm.
Because our God is now dealing with us again.
That's right.
And this was their fear from the beginning. They understand if the Most High is on our side, there's nothing that they can do.
Mm-hmm.
So this is why they have to keep Jake in the dark. This is why they ain't saying shit. This is why they were rejoicing. They let us break their bands asunder. We'll talk about that in Psalm, the 2nd chapter.
Mm-hmm.
Right, and cast their cords before us. Because they understand they actually are supposed to be under us.
God.
They know that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so it's imperative that they have to keep Jake asleep in the dark. So now that this information is coming, they like, what the fuck? Who told you? I remember when I was in the Houston camp, it was an Iranian dude came up, and he bugged out about the sign. He's like, how do you guys know this? How do you guys know? He's like, we know this. They teach this back, and he's talking in Iran. Like they teach us this. We know who you guys are. He was like, he was bugging the hell out. That he literally came to the camp and said, how do you guys know this? We know this. They teach this in the schools. And then why don't you guys say anything? They could become quiet. They don't have the answer. But it's the Spirit of the Lord that's not allowing you to say. That's more condemnation unto you.
God.
Because if you was for us, like you portray, like you are,
claim to be,
right? You was, hey, look, we got open land. Come over here. This is who you are. Da 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 da. To hell with the white man. We enemies. Come on. Hey, look, man, here's my daughter, man. Let's intermingle.
Mm-hmm.
They ain't doing that. They want to stay as far away from you, Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. But they'll stay close to you if they can make some money off of you.
Yep.
They'll be buddies. It says, and after 3 days and a half, the Spirit of the life from the Most High entered into them, and they stood upon their feet, and great fear fell upon them which saw them.
That's right. Great fear fell upon them which saw them. Which that's going into the elites of these other nations. Okay, the ones that we was reading about that's associated with Psalms the 83rd chapter, the rulers of these other nations that's taking part in that, they the ones that's scared, man. Okay, because they know what comes next.
Mm-hmm.
All right, we going back to the kingdom that David established down here on the earth, man, which consists of all you other nations in subjection, and the nation of Israel ruling over you, man. Okay, and us having access to all the resources that you have, including your woman. Okay, and Jake liked them Arab women, man. All right, that's old history. Okay, you can read about that when Jake was coming out of Egypt. All right, how they used the Midianite women as a stumbling block against Jake, man. Hey, Jake fell for it.
Jake, man.
Jake, he was so into them Midianite women, he's taking them with their kid.
Yeah.
Yeah,
being what, stepdaddy?
Yeah, they had a little heathen Midianite with them. Jake snatching them up.
They said, "Fuck it, man." I always wanted a son or a daughter. It's Jake.
And then the babies you had with them, they speaking the Midianite tongue. Jake wasn't teaching them Hebrew. So hey, Jake is into them Arab women, man. But that's you could see why. When you go into the history, which we're going to get into it, Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai willing, one of the things, that Ishmael was doing to Jake, he was castrating us, because he already know how we get down. The whole seed line would have changed if he would have, let Jake run loose, okay? Like happened over here, in Babylon.
Mm-hmm.
Esau let Jake run loose. You got wheat everywhere, man.
Yeah.
All right.
Jake loose out here, man. Jake, and you know what? You starting to see. It's like a shift. You starting to see the Moabite woman with Jake.
Mm-hmm.
The Ammonite woman with Jake.
Yep.
Right. The white woman's always been with Jake, but it's more. Oh, the Ishmaelite woman.
Yeah. She getting with Jake too.
And Elam. We like, damn, bro. It's like a new thing out there. It's a new spirit.
Yep.
Because Esau's going down.
That's right.
And the rightful rulers, it's it's in a spirit. Mm-hmm. The rightful rulers about to getting ready to come back into power, man. Okay, starting with the elect.
That's right.
So how much more in the kingdom? They just gonna have to completely bow down and submit, and we gonna have the power to enforce. And it's not even like okay, Jake like the women. The women like Jake.
Hey,
you see what I'm saying? So it's mutual.
She gonna choose you. Well, just like these celebrities. You know, you see, you watch old videos of Michael Jackson. He was alive. How them women rushed him, man.
Yeah.
You know, he ain't even they choosing him. You know, so you got that many women coming at you. You gonna deal with some of them, man. You ain't gonna say no.
Well, you had that in was that let me get that real quick. Genesis, the 6th chapter. The giants.
Yeah.
How they had, fame and stuff like that, and they took wives out of all nations. So Jake was dealing with, it was mingled back during that time.
Yep.
Let me see. Right, this is Genesis 6:1, and it came to pass when men began to multiply on the face of the earth, and daughters were born unto them, that the sons of God saw the daughters of men.
Yeah, the other nations, the sons of God. That was the Israelites back then. That's what we were being called. Okay, they saw the daughters of men, the daughters of these other nations. Okay, the heathen women. Keep going.
That they were fair.
They look good. Hey, these heathen women look good today too. All right, you got some badass, Palestinian chicks out there, man. Hey, if y'all survive, y'all gonna get snatched up. All right. Well, we ain't even gotta do no snatching.
They gonna come run.
They gonna run. They gonna run to Jake.
Right into Jake's arms.
Yep. You gonna be blessed to deal with a God. All right. You gonna want to deal with a God. You don't want to deal with no mortal man down here.
Mortal Ishmaelite. You know.
He ain't got no glow. He got a dull skin. You know, this shit. He look dead. You know, you better deal with that than deal with a God. You know.
Well, because if it really they want to deal with Jake even now.
Yeah, but it's a stigma.
Yeah.
It's that stigma, and then you got a lot of stuff being exposed about their racist culture.
Yeah.
A lot of these women, especially these Ishmaelites, they are denouncing their racist culture. They get with Jake.
Or even them Cushite women too. Them Cushite women, they denouncing. They come to America and bug the hell out. You know, because it's all about not being racist and da. And then they expose the racist culture within their community. You know, and then they rebel and they get with Jake. You know, that's happening. You know, it says, but this was going on back then. It says that the sons of God saw that the daughters of men were fair, and they took them wives of all which they chose.
To all the nations. Okay, Jake was choosing on them, man. You see a bad Moabite, you gonna get with her, man. You see a bad Ammonite, you gonna get with her. Bad Ishmaelite, hell, even some of them Hamite women, man.
Yeah.
All right, hey, some of them tribes, they questionable. You know, you might have to just, hey, don't deal with them. But hey, you got some good looking Hamite women, man. All right. Wait, them Canaanite women had to be looking good for Jake to get down with them. All right, I'm gonna say it like that.
Yeah, they right now they all fucked up, but hey, the Most High, He can raise up any nation. Well, Esau, look at Esau. He was a piece of shit. He was a base. You wouldn't want to deal with no Edomite woman, when she in her super low state. But clean her up.
Yeah.
Clean her ass up. She ready to go. You know what I mean? You know.
You got that. What was it? That book by J. Rogers, Sex and Race. It's a picture in there that say 3 times a day, man. Hey, you know what's going down 3 times a day is a thick Edomite woman in there, man. You know.
But yeah, that's pretty much. We want to go on the article.
We can read a little bit of it.
Okay, yeah. We'll just read a little bit, and then Lord's will.
Y'all by Shimmy Shah willing, we're gonna have to make this a little series. There's so much information.
Yeah.
We didn't even touch the article yet.
Let me get this charger real quick.
Yeah, but this history is vast, man.
God. Okay.
So we read a little bit of this. A couple paragraphs, and y'all by Shimmy Shah willing, we'll continue this at a later date.
Yeah, this is from fairplanet.org. The title of the article is Forgotten Slavery, the Arab Muslim Slave Trade by Bob Kolgi. Over the years, global focus and discourse on slavery has concentrated on the transatlantic slave trade or transatlantic trade that featured American and European merchants.
And the reason for that is because Esau Edom, he's the ruler of the world. Okay, he's the top nation at the moment. All right, so all the stuff that he does is highlighted. Okay, and America plays a major part in biblical prophecy. This is Babylon the Great. Okay, Europe, that's the beast. Okay, that's the beast and the whore. So that's the reason why that's the most spoken about. Okay.
On one other trade has, however, remained largely ignored, and at times has even been treated as a taboo subject.
And if you talk to them Ishmaelites, they don't want to talk about it, man. They'll say that, oh, that, you know, Muhammad did away with it, so, you know, we're brothers now. You know, we don't believe in putting people in captivity. All right, when you start bringing up the history, the nigga get quiet.
Yeah,
man.
yeah, he gets super quiet.
All right, ask him about the Zanj slave trade. You know, they don't want to talk about that, man.
Yeah, they try to use the Muhammad thing as a, you know, if you not studied, if you don't know, they'll just, oh yeah, we did, you know, that he done away with, so we, you know, that's history. But those were bad Muslims. This is good Muslim. Muhammad, he, you know, he solved all that. You know, like nah, nigga. It's still, you was still putting Jake into slavery up until the 20th century. Okay, in modern times.
Yeah, and really it's still going on now, but it's on the low. All right, they do it behind closed doors because it's illegal, you know, in legal terms out there. All right, but it's still going on. Okay, and these the governments of these other nations know that it's going on. They allowing it to happen.
They turn a blind. They turn because the same officials that run the government, they're doing it.
Yeah, they got slaves.
You know,
they children got slaves, man.
You know, it's a practice.
But see, they bank on the ignorance of you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans because they can hit you with the Muhammad abolished thing. You'll believe it because you don't know. Yeah. You ain't did no research. You know, and you ain't gonna look it up after Ishmael tell you that. You gonna, yeah, that's my brother.
And that's why these nations capitalize off of Jake is because of Jake's ignorance. You're like, damn, these people don't even know shit. They don't, you know, they don't know nothing. Neither do they even want to look into anything. You know, they're like, fuck it, let's put them in slavery. You know, I see their logic because Jake is just fucking, it's an idiot. You know, but hey, that's too. See, what they didn't account for was the 1/3.
God.
They run into the prophets, the men of the Lord. They run into the men that the Most High put a spirit on, His righteous spirit, and they freak out, man. Yeah. You know, because they're used to dealing with niggas. Yeah. Dumb, ignorant, bonehead niggas that just, you know, go to the gas station to buy, you know, blunt wrappers and sodas and chips and pork rinds. 40 ounces, you know. They're not well accustomed to dealing with an Israelite man that has his wits about him. That's in the spirit of Yahweh Shemal Shai. And that is pretty much saying, hey bro, you gotta pay. The Most High God, he gonna pay you back for what you done.
Yeah, and we ain't your fucking friends, man. Okay, we ain't on the same page as you Ishmaelites. We don't want to be buddy with you. Okay, we don't give a fuck how many liquor stores you got open. You ain't our friends, man. You our enemy. Okay, and we know about the hell and the oppression that you put on our people. And we gonna tell you about it when we see you, man. All right, we ain't letting shit slide. Okay, we are actively calling on our power to destroy your ass, man. Okay, and that bug them out because they don't come across Jake that's in the spirit, man. Jake want to be everybody's fucking friend, you know. But we ain't in that spirit, man. We in the spirit of vengeance, okay, and the destruction of the enemies of Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai, which is you other nations. And you Ishmaelites, you are one of the nations that's at the top of that list, man.
Number 2. And at times has even been treated as a taboo subject, despite being a key component of African history.
And this is well known if you go, well, not even that. A lot of them, African nations don't even speak about this. Okay, so this is a real taboo subject. You know, it's one individual, I forget his name, but he, you know, pretty much has dedicated a lot of his life to studying the Arab slave trade. He, you know, is a Jake that's out there in Africa. You know, he's from one of those tribes out there. All right. But even amongst them, it ain't, you know, it ain't really known like that. All right. They'll go into, you know, how they were colonized by the English or, you know, the Portuguese, but they don't really teach them about what them Israelites came down there and did, man. You know?
Despite being a key component of African history, owning to the devastating impact it had on the continent, its generations and its people way of life.
That's right. See, this is another component to why you so-called Negroes, okay, are in the position that you in today, man. All right, it's because of what these other nations have done to you. All right, so you'll look at, you know, why are these different nations in Africa poor? Yeah, you can point your hand at Esau, Edom, which he played a big part in that as well. But also, you gotta look at Ishmael. Okay.
The Arab Muslim slave trade, also known as the Trans-Saharan trade or the Eastern slave trade, is noted as the longest slave trade, having occurred for more than 1,300 years.
You see, and you think that's not going to, you know, have a lasting impact on the individuals that was impacted by this? You know, keep going.
That's a long ass time.
Well, that's a day, almost a day and a half to the Heavenly Father. You know.
Yep. It says having occurred for more than 1,300 years, while taking millions of Africans away from their continent.
Which it wasn't Africans. The ones that they were taking away were Israelites. All right.
To work in foreign lands in the most inhumane conditions.
Which that's part of the curses that befell the nation of Israel. Okay.
Scholars have christened it a veiled genocide. You want to talk about a real genocide, right? And these fucking nations, you know, they speak about Palestine, this and that, but they won't bring up none of the shit that they've done to us.
God.
We can't speak about that. See, it's taboo. Like, no, you can't. No, we can't speak about that. That's in the past. But that directly affects our condition right now. Okay. Attributing the tagline to the most humiliating and near-death experiences slaves were subject to, from capture in slave markets to labor fields abroad, and the harrowing journey in between.
Yeah, so some of the slaves, they got put on ships, you know, and taken to Yemen, you know, the Arabian Peninsula. A lot of them were they had to make that trek on foot.
Yeah, through the Sahara.
You know, through the Sahara all the way up into Egypt, you know, through you know, the land of Canaan, okay, into Iraq, Iran, you know, Afghanistan. All right. So they had to make that trek on foot, man. That's hell. Okay, a lot of them dropped dead.
Yeah, most of them dropped dead. Yeah, the history's pretty much most of them dropped dead. So the ones that survived were the strong ones. Those, you know, those are the ones they want to breed, and you know what I mean. Those were going to be good slaves. The Eastern trade in Africa was predominantly concentrated in the East and West African regions. In East Africa, the coastal region was the preferred route, and Tanzania's archipelago, Zanzibar became a hub for this trade.
Yeah, you could look at some of the maps. We could close this out too.
Okay, go ahead.
Which you might not be able to see it on. Well, yeah, there it goes down there, Zanzibar.
Right.
Which
here.
there's to this day, there's a lot of Jakes in Tanzania.
Yeah, there's a lot
also,
of Jakes. Yeah.
Mozambique.
All
right, there's a lot of Israelites there, man.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, see, this is a cut to, you know, a lot of those Israelite groups out there that think that, you know, all people from the land of Ham are Hamites. Now our people are still over there. Okay. Millions of Israelites poured into the land of Ham after, you know, the besieging of Jerusalem in 70 AD, man. Okay. And Ishmael, when he came across us, he put us in captivity. Okay, there's various tribes that he put into slavery, and this is some of the routes that he was taking.
Yeah, there's major slave ports right here.
Mm-hmm.
Down here in Zanzibar.
That's where the majority of the slaves came out of. Okay, and they call those Zanj. That's where the word Zanj comes from. Okay, from Zanzibar. All right, and that's just pretty much a blanket statement for the slaves that were taken to the so-called Arab world or the Muslim world. Okay, because that was the major slave port. All right, so that's where that term came from. All right, which the majority of people in Tanzania, the majority of people in Mozambique, they're Israelites. All you gotta do is look it up, man.
Yeah, that's right.
Okay, you look at them, they got the spirit of Jake on them.
Mm-hmm.
They ain't got no Hamitic spirit, man.
Yeah, cause you can see a Hamitic spirit.
Yeah, he dead.
A dead spirit, a dead, dry spirit. Just, just big ass eyes, just dry skin. Just big head. Just no spirit.
Mm-hmm.
No spirit at all. But you can see all these different ports, and you can see these different routes. Okay, that the Arabs was taking Jake from, because Jake was scattered. Jake came into Africa and set up colonies in all different parts of Africa. So Jake pretty much it could be more Jakes in Africa than actual Hamites.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Cause Jake multiply. So.
If I'm not mistaken, I can look it up. I got to do more research on it. But if I'm not mistaken, I remember, back in the day, somebody saying that pretty much the western coast of Africa wasn't even populated until the Bantu expansion. So the majority of, which we know that, the majority of people on the west coast of Africa are Jakes.
Yep.
They line goes back to, Israel. All right, the 12 tribes of Israel. But that makes sense too. The majority of the slaves was taken from the West Coast.
Yep. Yep.
Which this is a bigger map of it. Well, it's like if you go back to the other map real quick. Because what you had, they called the East African slave trade. One of the reasons for that is because that was, the major slave port. But this nigga Ishmael was taking Jake from West Africa, and leading them up into, those different Arab countries. Okay, so the same tribes, some of the same tribes that, experienced slavery by the hand of Esau, Edom, they went into captivity under the Ishmaelites as well. Okay? Which, hey, man, you can see how pissed off Yahweh Shai was at Jake.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So you see right here, Yemen, Jake, this is where all the action is going on right now.
Mm-hmm.
This port, the Red Sea. Okay. Jake was Aden.
Mm-hmm.
That was Jake in Yemen. You got Oman, then you got Iran, EUA, yep, Arab Emirates, Bahrain, and all that. Then you go Afghanistan. You got Iraq, Kuwait. Jake was it's hella Jakes in Kuwait.
Mm-hmm.
It's hella Jakes in Kuwait. Like you would think, like you would look at Kuwait and see Jake dark skinned, like a so-called black woman. Be like, this look like a so-called black man with a headscarf on, but straight up from Kuwait. We looking at the map here.
Mm-hmm.
Jake was scattered and sold into all these lands. Okay, for over 1,300 years.
Yep.
1,300 years, them Arabs was raiding Jake, taking Jake and selling them into these different lands.
Mm-hmm. Along with Ham, because them Hamites was participating as well.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't just Ishmael doing this. Ishmael would contract these different Hamitic tribes to go and get Jake as well, and then come out and sell him.
Oh yeah, Ham had a big hand in it. He had Jake slaves, and as well as, like the elder said, he was doing a lot of the raiding. They would contract. Okay, boom, sell their ass.
Or that movie, The Woman King, showed you that. That's what that was about.
Jake don't know that.
Well, Jake watching, it's a black woman that led an army, not knowing that army that she was leading was responsible for putting your ancestors in slavery, man. You know. Which Jake's a bug out. He think everybody with dark skin is his people, man.
But he won't take his black ass back to Africa. That nigga will not. He will not go to Africa. Well, you got Jake. You go on YouTube. You got Jakes that went to Africa and experienced all type of racism in Africa. They said, "Fuck that. Yeah. We going back to the United States."
Well, that's one of the reasons why one of the main, expat destinations for Jake is Thailand.
Yeah.
You know, the main places, Panama. That's where the most Jakes is going. Panama, Mexico. But Jake ain't going to the land of Ham. You know? Jake ain't going to Ghana. Jake ain't going to Nigeria. Jake going to these other countries, man. All right?
But yeah, here's a bigger map. Same thing. Right? Same thing. Where, you had, this is more transatlantic slave trade over here. But you had the sub-Saharan slave trade, what was going on. But these are all Israelites. Israelites was getting shipped.
Yep.
It wasn't Hamites getting shipped. It wasn't Arabs getting shipped.
And you can see from the East Coast, you got the Swahili coast over there. Jake was getting shipped from there to Madagascar, then making a stop over there in East Africa. The one thing they don't have on here is there was a major slave port in Cape Town. Cape Town is a lot of Jakes. There's a lot of Israelites there, man.
Yep.
So that was another major stop. Bringing slaves from the West Coast, from the East Coast, over, to go to the New World. So they would stop in Cape Town, and then they would make their way over to the New World.
Yeah, it was a big one of the biggest slave ports. Cape Town.
And these are all Israelites, man. These ain't no Hamites. Okay? This was the punishment that Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai brought upon you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. All right? And then another thing that's not shown here is the slave trade going the opposite way. Okay? The Northern Kingdom being brought over to the Old World, which we know that happened. Okay?
Yep. Yeah, so this really, if you were to get an actual real map of the slaves, the Southern and the Northern Kingdom, I mean, it would be like a fucking the airplane. What is the airplane map where they have all the destination where every airplane and shit is going at one time.
Yep.
It will cover the whole earth. It will literally cover the whole earth, north, south, east, and west. Because you had Jake from over here in the Western Hemisphere was getting shipped over to the Eastern Hemisphere, the Northern Kingdom. So you got a big mixture. You got a big mixture of Jake. That a Gadite in Europe.
Yeah.
Ukraine. It's a Gadite. You
got Gad somewhere in the Arabian Peninsula. You got Gad out there in the land of India, man. Okay, from the slave trade. All right, because Esau, he was taking slaves with him when he went to Europe.
Yep.
Okay, and some of them more than likely stayed on the ship when he went down to Africa and he linked up with that nigga Ishmael. Oh, see, I got slaves from over here. You can have them. And then they got shipped throughout the four corners of the earth. You also had slave trade going the opposite way. Okay. Esau, Edom was taking, the Northern Kingdom over to the Pacific, So, our people have literally been dispersed throughout the four corners of the earth. I could, probably bring this out.
Okay,
this is Deuteronomy 28.
The curses.
And 64. It says, "And the Lord, Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai, shall scatter thee among all people, from one end of the earth even unto the other."
And this is a small description of that, even though it doesn't fully give you everything, but it's big enough to see that our people were being shipped off everywhere. Okay, and the misconception is that the Africans were being sold into slavery. No, they don't even recognize their history of them being sold into slavery because it didn't happen.
Yeah, they'll tell you we were never slaves. We weren't no slaves.
You see what I'm saying? But they equate Jake with being slaves is because our people fled into that. We're dealing with Africa mainly, but our people fled into the interiors of Africa.
Mm-hmm.
And what did those Arabs? What did Esau do? What did those Hamites do? They hated us, right? Because everywhere we go, we excel to a bigger, a higher level than all the other nations around us. So they're jealous of that. They're mad about that. Okay, that right there is they look at that as detrimental to their existence. So they all linked up. All right, they're here, they're over there, they're over there. They know because we have customs.
God, yep.
You know what I mean? They knew how we are dressed. Then you have the surrounding African tribes. Okay, yeah, those is those are them Hebrews. Mm-hmm. Those are them Israelites.
And you got them Hamites that know. They'll tell you if you talk to them and you tell them the people of West Africa, they're Israelites. They're Shemitic. They'll tell you, they are. Yeah, those are the those are the lost Jews. All right. Well, it's a video. I seen it on the internet. Maybe I could find it again, but it was a
Cushite woman. Yeah,
she was sitting down there, talking about race and ethnicity, and she was like, "All black people pretty much ain't the same. Like we're different than you are. We're Hamitic. You guys are Shemitic." But that go over the majority of these niggas' head.
Yeah, they know.
She say Shem, nigga don't know Shem. A nigga think that's the name of some new weed or something, man, or some kind of alcoholic drink. She say you Shemitic, separating herself from you. You niggas don't know what she talking about. Then you look on the comment board, niggas was mad. We should all be one. No, she telling you that she different from you, man. You got different lineage than her.
Yeah.
All right, you descend from Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, okay, which comes out of Shem, and she descends from Cush, which came out of Ham. You ain't the same people.
And they know that history.
Them Hamites know.
Yeah.
Okay, they know that you are different from them. That's why they was selling your ass, man. Okay, they weren't selling their own people. They was selling you Israelites. Okay, you put them niggas in captivity, man. The reason why they in this land is because they know the history. All right, they know what happened during the time of 69 or 65 to 70 AD. Okay, they heard that Jerusalem got sacked, the temple got destroyed, and them niggas got dispersed throughout the four corners of the earth. They ain't in that land no more, man. They coming down here, they fleeing from the Romans.
Yeah, their God has forsaken them. Because they knew the history of the Most High delivering us out of Egypt.
Yep.
They knew about David. They knew about Egypt. They knew about Jericho. Those are the same nations that experienced us coming down and whipping their ass. So now we getting completely kicked out of Jerusalem.
Yep.
We're done. They're done.
Yeah, they finished. This never happened.
They know the history. So they thought, okay, let's round these niggas up, man. Fuck these niggas.
Yeah, they get completely kicked out of the land because when the Babylonians came in there, they just took the nobility out and carted them away into Babylon. You still had Israelites living there. It was the poor of our people. But see, this go around when 70 AD happened, all the Israelites got expelled from the land of Jerusalem, the land of Israel at that time. Okay? And it was illegal for you to be an Israelite in that land. So Jake left. Never to return again except into captivity, as you can see here. They took Jake up into Egypt, and Jake ended up in Palestine, back in your land as a slave. Under the authority of a damn rock worshiper, man. That's a curse.
That's crazy.
I'm gonna finish this up.
Okay.
And the Lord Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai shall scatter thee among all people from the one end of the earth even unto the other.
As you can see here.
And there thou shalt serve other gods. Okay, Ishmael made you convert into to Islam. All right, whatever religion you had before, whether it was that ancestral worship, you had to cast that off and become a Muslim. All right, which is basically rock worship. You know, you really get to the crux of it. They worshiping a rock. It's a rock in that box over there in Mecca. Okay? And there thou shalt serve other gods, which neither thou nor thy fathers have known, because Abraham, he didn't know about Islam. All right? He ain't know about Christianity. He ain't know about being a Buddhist. Okay? He worshiped Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai. Isaac worshiped the Heavenly Father. Okay? And our forefather Jacob as well. He worshipped Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai. Man, he ain't know nothing about these new religions that you niggas is into. Okay? It says, which neither thou nor thy fathers have known, even wood and stone. And among these nations thou shalt find no ease.
Yeah, and wherever you go, you know, you a nigga. And you get treated as such. Just like I was saying earlier, you got certain jakes that try to go back to Africa, and they leave Africa because they don't find any comfort. They don't find any, you know, rest. There's no home. There's no nation. Oh yeah, it's my people.
Yeah.
Them Africans looking at you like, and even Jake that's over there.
Yep.
Even Jake looks at you Black Americans. Man, these niggas, man. Man, fuck, we ain't even dealing with you.
Mm-hmm.
So even within that, you the same people, and they not even dealing with you. Oh well, if them Nigerians, they go to Europe or they go to China. They looking, man, these niggas, man. They got a bad rap. They got a bad name. They go to India. They gotta nah, they need to get these niggas out of here.
Mm-hmm.
So it don't matter where you at. You an Israelite. You ain't gonna find no rest. Even in you got the Northern Kingdom. They riddle with nothing but war and drugs and uncertainty and poverty. So even amongst what you would call their nation, right, in those countries, it's Esau control their resources, number one.
Yep.
And they catching pure hell. Heads getting chopped off. It's just wild. It's a wild, wild west, man. Okay? So no matter where you go, you don't have no rest. Okay?
And among these nations shalt thou find no ease, neither shall the sole of thy foot have rest, but the Lord, Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai, shall give thee there a trembling heart, and failing eyes, and sorrow of mind.
And all Israelites have that curse upon them. Uncertainty. You catching pure hell.
Mm-hmm.
You go from the West Coast to the East Coast, and you talk to Jake, you gonna hear the same story, man. Hell. Okay, you gonna hear childhood trauma. You gonna ask him what about your parents, your father? Oh, I don't know where he's at. Or your mother, I don't know where she was on dope. What about your great grandfather? I don't even know who he was.
Mm-hmm.
This is not even my real last name. You don't know shit. That's childhood trauma. Okay, and we all experience that. Jake over there in Africa, Jake experiencing the same thing that we experience. It's more turned up over here in Babylon. We in Babylon, but it's just as bad over there too. Okay, Jake in Asia, in India. They amongst Elam. And they got certain looks, they might look a little bit, but they like, damn, why am I getting treated like this? I'm a slave. I'm just a nigga. Whatever terminology they have, but they can trace their line back to slavery, man. They know why they're in. We were the slaves. We were brought over here. Now we somewhat get a little bit of freedom. That's the Most High, lighten our affliction.
God.
But nevertheless, these nations, what are they doing? They still treating us like third and fourth class citizens, as slaves, as worse than they treat the animals better than us. Okay. You had anything?
So Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai Willers, we didn't really get a chance to go through the article. It's more articles that we want to go through, Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai willing. So, we're going to come back at a later time, it's probably be turned into a little series.
Kind.
So we'll go through, different aspects of, the Arab slave trade. All right. And Jake, like we mentioned earlier, Jake actually went into China. We're going to go into that, Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai willing as well. You know, so with that, you know, we hope this lesson was edifying. We want to give all praises to
Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, Ba'ashem Rakakwadash.
Double honors to the apostles and the elder bishops at Great Millstone. Shalom.
Shalom.